Literally the next day, all this happens. Keenan Allen, Kenny Pickett, Justin Fields gone, like all within 2 days, all this stuff ends up happening. And I'm going to blame it on you because, you said that all this stuff was going to end up happening and it did. So Keenan Allen to the Bears is where we're going to go ahead and start.
You're welcome. I love the fit. I mean, come on. You're Keenan Allen for Caleb Williams. Let's go.
Dude.
Suck it, Bears fans. I told you. Suck it. Suck it. I'm doing the DX chop right now. Suck it. Listen, y'all, just so you know, Justin Fields went for less than Trey Lance did. The Cowboys believe more in the potential of Trey Lance than any NFL team did in Justin Fields. Do you see? Hold on. Matter of fact, breaking news for the podcast. Justin Fields is here live in the 2020 studios. I got him right here, boys. Justin Fields. This is Justin Fields right here, guys. That's Justin Fields live in the 2020 podcast studios. I'm glad he can make it. Clip that. Put it on YouTube. Put it on TikTok. Come see me, Bears fans. I hope all of you guys are headed down to get your Caleb Williams jerseys right now because he's now inviting you back to relevancy for the first time in many, many years.
So this is exactly what it is, right? You could say, oh, it's Keenan Allen, Keenan Allen, we're getting Keenan Allen for whoever new quarterback, it's Caleb Williams, right? Allen, he's 31. He's entering the final season of a 4-year contract. He was asked to take a pay cut, and he basically said, no.
See my numbers? Numbers?
I've had my best numbers, right? Yeah, right. 108 passes.
It's pretty gangster, by the way.
1,243 yards. It's the 6th time he's gone over 1,000 yards. Oh, and by the way, he missed 4 games.
Oh, and by the way, it was some backup quarterback no one's ever heard of before. Not Justin Herbert. Easton frickin' Stick, Madden legend. Okay.
Madden legend. We're the only ones who can reference Easton Stick. Oh, man.
Him and Ben DiNucci, man.
Keenan Allen to the Bears is a great, great fit. I want to talk a little bit more about this when we get around to the mock draft, because when it comes to that 9th pick, if there is a wide receiver there, I do want to have a little bit further conversation about the Keenan Allen stuff. But Keenan Allen to the Bears for a 4th round pick is a steal, it feels like. And yes, he's older, but Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, maybe another wide receiver, DeAndre Swift, a better offensive line than last year. You're surrounding a rookie quarterback with the talent it needs.
And just to be clear, I love it for the Chargers also. I don't think it was a shoo-in that they could have gotten better than a 4th. He's 31. He's had injury concerns his entire career, and he makes a lot of money. So I think getting a 4th for him is great fit for a player that, frankly, clearly wasn't moving the needle for them in the previous years. He's a great wide receiver. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Keenan Allen fan. But keeping him around this year wasn't changing anything for you. So,
yep. Moving on to a guy that doesn't move the needle for anybody, Kenny Pickett to the Eagles. Drew, real quick, I want to fire off numbers at you because going through some of my research, as you know, I uncover some stuff that's absolutely bonkers, and we know the Kenny Pickett stuff is bad, but sometimes it needs to be put into perspective. Okay. Over his couple of years of starting, he has 4,474 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. That's some quarterbacks' full seasons with more touchdowns and less interceptions. 315 quarterbacks have over 500 pass attempts since the merger. Only one has thrown a touchdown on fewer than 2% of their total passes. Kenny Pickett with 1.9%. 1.9% of his passes are touchdowns. Again, he's the only one. In the last 20 years, Kenny Pickett has the fewest touchdowns of any starting quarterback when compared to his stats. Other notable quarterbacks with more passing touchdowns than Kenny Pickett since the start of last season, not just this season, start of last season. Davis Mills, who didn't play this year. Marcus Mariota, who didn't play this year. Matt Ryan, who's retired. So you have a couple of guys. Yeah, kind of. You have a couple of guys who did not play this year at all, and a guy who's retired.
How many did Joe Flacco throw this year?
I think he threw 7 or 8.
And that was like in 6 games or something.
Yeah. Which I think Kenny Pickett he was 6-4. He has 6 touchdown passes before picks.
My man Kenny is literally just afraid to throw the football. It's actually quite impressive that he threw that many passes and he only had 13 picks with how bad he is. But frankly, if the ball needed to travel more than 2 yards down the field, my man had a worse ADOT than Jimmy Garoppolo, and that's hard to do because Jimmy don't throw the ball downfield.
Yep.
So
Kenny Pickett had 6 touchdown passes, dude. The Dallas Cowboys defense and special teams also had 6 passes.
Wait, hold on. Please hold for the podcast. How many touchdowns did Deron Bland have last year?
He had
7. Was that the record? 7 pick sixes. 7, and how many did Kenny Pickett have?
6.
All right, yeah. Deron Bland for starting QB for the Steelers. I love it.
Yeah. Tommy DeVito threw 3 touchdown passes in a game. Kenny Pickett, over his last 7 games that he started, threw 2 touchdown passes. Just, again, put in perspective. Tommy DeVito now has more career games with multiple passing touchdowns than Kenny Pickett.
Not afraid to throw the football.
Kenny Pickett has more time to throw than the league average, and yet is below league average in every advanced stat, except his inaccuracy rate, which is he ranks higher than league average. And I could keep going, looking at the Mason Rudolph in 2019 in 10 games and Kenny Pickett this year in 10 games. It's not even close. Mason Rudolph has more touchdowns, a little bit more interceptions, but a better passer rating and more yards per game. Why he was trotted out there, but it's not just the statistics. His attitude sucked. I don't know how much you knew about all this stuff. He did not get taking benched well at all. He denied being dressing for a third quarterback, and it was week 17. He did not want to dress. He was not going to dress, and he did not take the Russell Wilson trade good at all. So he tried to play it off like it was fine. Oh, this is the direction we're going. His attitude sucks. And he goes to a team that he's guaranteed a number 2 spot. You're going to be a number 2 anyways before the Justin Fields trade. Then you were going to be number 3, and now you're going to be a 2 behind Jalen Hurts. So,
yeah, I mean, at least in this case, Jalen has a proficiency at getting injured, and I think the Eagles are kind of questioning that quarterback decision anyway. And just so you know, Steelers fans who are celebrating, your guys' QB room didn't get any better. So don't come out here celebrating, marching down the field. You got the only quarterback in the NFL that's just as bad as Kenny Pickett as an in-pocket passer, and you got the corpse of Russell Wilson. So, and I've been a 49er fan a long time. I hate Russell Wilson. I'm preying on his downfall. I love watching him with the Broncos. That made me happy. That dude put more heartbreak into my heart than anything. And hey, did you see Malcolm Butler at the Boston Celtics game the other night? And
him getting a standing ovation.
Standing ovation. Yep. Shout out to the Boston fans for knowing who Malcolm Butler is by his face, because they panned to him before they even put up the little thing with his name. The whole, what is it, TD Gardens, I think they call it. The whole arena started freaking the hell out because of that. I was like, everybody knows that Boston fans, except for the ones that live in California, are awesome fans. And that was just legit. Like, I was so, because, Malcolm Butler's had an up and down career. I mean, he that was his defining moment of his career. And he's just sitting there hanging out with your boy, Paul Pierce. And I bet, honestly, he probably wouldn't tell you, but I bet that was like, I bet he loved that.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Good for him. Fuck Paul Pierce. Anyways, Justin Fields traded, already mentioned, but going to the Steelers. This is inevitable, right? Fuck off, every motherfucker in my comment section. You don't know what Chicago wants. Bitch, I know apparently more than Chicago. Dude, this had to be done, right? It is impossible to have Justin Fields and a new quarterback in the locker room at the same time in Chicago. And now Jalen Johnson's already coming out. I don't know if you saw this, his quote being like, "Hey, we don't don't bring any of that Hollywood stuff here. Like, you got to prove it and you got to get respect to the." I don't mind the quote if you could have probably left out some of the don't bring the Hollywood stuff over here. Not sure what it's referencing in that instance. So there is maybe already a little bit of maybe sting because the Justin Fields was loved so much in that locker room, but he's just not good enough. He's just not good enough, okay, at the end of the day, okay?
Listen,
that's all it is.
Caleb Williams might be a bust. Who knows? He might be the next Andrew Luck. Who knows? But he's the number 1 overall pick. He's been anointed that for 2 years. The dude is an amazing thrower of the football. And here's the fact. He's coming with all the pomp and circumstance a franchise savior is ever going to come with. Like, there's been as much hype of this guy, more than Trevor Lawrence, more than Joe Burrow, more than Kyler Murray. This is Andrew level hype, Andrew Luck level hype. Yeah. And they got a team set up for him to succeed. That's what's crazy. The defense, ferocious. The offensive weapons, impressive, way more impressive than they've been in many, many years, except for that contract they handed to their running back. Again, Chicago Bears fans trying to justify every damn thing they do. I swear, they could sign, who is just super, I don't know. I'm not even going to go there on this podcast, actually. But the Bears fans would think it was great. Whatever the worst NBA player, the worst NFL player, the most controversial NFL player, or, I'll text you once we get, if you remind me the name that popped in my head, a certain safety that's going to jail for his bad deeds he did against women. That's the name that popped in my mind. So, just they could do like anything at this point. The Bears fans would think it was the most amazing thing in the world, but the crazy thing is they brought up that defense. They got rid of Justin Fields, their running back, and quarterback. Sorry, I apologize. And Caleb's coming.
Yeah,
he's officially a plus 1,000 favorite. It's gonna happen. It's basically done at this point. And let's go Bears. Bear down, baby.
To the Justin Fields fans, let me talk to you for a second.
All 3 of you.
Incredible athlete, right? He has a good size, good work ethic. He seems to be really good in the community. Teammates follow his lead, great in the locker room. This year, his QBR was down 12 points from last year, 44.7. Fields' fourth quarter passer rating, 50.1, putting him near the bottom of the NFL with Jameis Winston, Trevor Siemian, Bailey Zappi. 6 fourth quarter interceptions, tied for league worst. Fields threw 170 yards against the league's worst defense, statistical defense, the Arizona Cardinals. And he only threw 35 yards after halftime. 35 yards. 38-year-old Joe Flacco threw 212 yards against the Bears in the fourth quarter alone with backup offensive linemen. So, just to put it in a little bit of context. So if you're going, oh, well, he's not just a passer. That's fine. He's a rusher too. 2,731 total yards from scrimmage. 18 touchdowns, 9 picks. Who's comparable to that? It's not Lamar Jackson. You can stop right there. It's not Lamar. He's not Lamar. Another guy who had similar scrimmage yards, 3,028 scrimmage yards, 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Any guesses who that is? He's a journeyman. Just went to a new team. Mr. Gardner Minshew himself. That's who he's comparable to this year. So, again.
And just to be clear, if you ask 32 NFL teams, they would all take Gardner Minshew over Justin Fields.
He has thrown 39 touchdowns in his career. Lamar Jackson threw for 36 in his second season. Blake Bortles threw for 35 in a season.
The Bortlenator? Wow. Dude, that's a great reference. Bortles. Hey, he went to an AFC championship game, bro. Blake Bortles was almost Nick Foles' legend, bro.
That's true.
Bortles almost did it.
Yep. So, again, get over it. You should be rejoicing that a number 1 overall pick, a quarterback, is coming in and taking over the helm and restarting that quarterback market that you could go out and you can trade and you can sign for these guys. That's the only reason you can go out and do this stuff.
It's not even your guys' pick. That's the thing. It's not your pick. Yep. It's the Panthers' pick.
You're lucky.
You get to restart your franchise for free. It cost you nothing. It literally cost you it cost you not having to take Bryce Young, realistically. Yeah. So honestly, here's the thing. If you're a Chicago Bear fan and you're listening to this and you're really disappointed that your team lost Justin Fields, and I'm going to scale it back a little bit because I know about him as a man, and Justin Fields has been an excellent representation of Chicago Bears football. He's been an excellent rep for the league, all that stuff. he's probably going to beat out Russell Wilson, and he'll be the starter over there. He'll have a shot.
Yeah.
But your front office identified that Bryce Young was not the answer and got out of the ability to draft that player. Now they've decided that Justin Fields is not the answer. They've stacked up your defense. They traded for the better player from Washington. They didn't get Chase Young. They re-signed Jalen Johnson. They got Keenan Allen for a fourth. Your guys' front office is knocking it out of the park, and they've identified the next franchise quarterback for the Chicago Bears, whether it's Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams or Drake May. We're going to find out live together on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
They've identified a new franchise cornerstone for you guys, and you have to understand that they're fucking killing it right now. So you need to just get on board with it, because whatever franchise player the Chicago Bears have identified, you got to trust them, because they have not misstepped in this whole process. Shout out to them. They're killing it right now.
Yep. Be grateful for your front office, you bitch.
Yeah, you can have an 85-year-old senile man who's, we're going big this year. And they ain't done shit. They stole Eric Kendricks from the 49ers, and they signed their long snapper, and that's it. Yeah, we're going to go big this year. We're going to, I'm sorry, I didn't mean in free agency. I meant we're getting a bigger Jumbotron for Jerry's Palace. I'm just saying, like, you could have him. You could be the Panthers, but you're not. You're the Chicago Bears, and the Chicago Bears have been trashed for like 30 years. So shout out to you guys for sticking around. It's now your time.
Yep.
You guys are on the rise. Kind of sucks that the Packers are freaking legit and they might be mainstays for a couple of years, because those are going to be some battles. But hey, Chicago Bears are relevant again, and whatever decision you guys make during draft night, you have to support it. And if the number 9 pick comes up, and all of a sudden it's not the Bears on the clock anymore, then you have to support it, because they're just killing it right now, and you just need to support it.